All right, class. So this video is going to be a continuation of looking at HUD stats and HUD stats demonstrations. So we looked at my Hold'em indicator HUD. Now we're going to take a look at my Poker Tracker 4 HUD setup. And I'm going to show you a couple of different HUD profiles that I have on my Poker Tracker 4 database. So this is my setup for Ignition Casino, formerly Bovada. I do have still Hold'em indicator that I can use on the side, but since they transferred over to Ignition Casino, there's been some issues with downloading your hand history. So I've been using a combination of tools. I've been using the Ace Poker Solutions Bovada card catcher to allow me to utilize this HUD instead when I'm playing on there, and it works nice. It's different than Hold'em indicator, but it works just fine. And actually, a lot of people prefer Poker Tracker 4, and let's take a look at my HUD setup. So for my Ignition HUD setup, I have three different lines. The first one that you see, and I'll just pull them up over here because you can see what they are. A number of hands, VPIP, preflop raise, total aggression factor, and then the player name in small. It is anonymous on Ignition, and with Hold'em indicator, you don't have a player name, but when you use the Bovada card catcher, it does assign each player a unique ID, and it's good to have this listed in a small font so you can ensure that it's lining up properly with each player. So that's the first line, pretty basic and straightforward. Second line is their 3-bet preflop, and then after the pipe symbol, I have their fold to preflop 3-bets. So we have 3-bet, fold to 3-bet there. And then we have attempt to steal and then fold to steal. So steal and then fold to steal attempts. And then I just put the win percentage because it's just anonymous poker. We're not going to have that many stats. I just want to see how often they win. I don't care how often they go to showdown or not. So I just put their win percentage there. And then the last line, I have their flop c-bet stats, their turn c-bet stats, and their river c-bet stats. So I can see how often opponents are single barreling and giving up on the turn, how often they're double barreling, giving up on the river, and how often they're triple barreling. And so I just have the pipe symbol between each one. So I just put CB for c-bet and I put flop, turn, and river. And then we have fold versus a flop c-bet and fold versus a turn c-bet. I didn't put the river on here because I don't think we're going to get enough stats to see how often people are folding to triple barrels when we are firing away c-bets. But however, I want to see how often they are actually firing away at c-bets themselves. So I just put fold to flop and fold to turn c-bets, and then we can put the notes here. So that's the Hold'em indicator setup here. Sorry, not Hold'em indicator, the Poker Tracker 4 setup that I use in lieu of Hold'em indicator on Ignition Casino. And I try to make it look similar to Hold'em indicator since that's what I'm used to on there. Let's take another one. So I have a standard cash HUD setup as well. And this one is similar, but a little different. A lot of the same stats. And I'll just talk about it over here. So player name, number of hand, VPIP, preflop raise, 3-bet, fold to 3-bet, steal, fold to steal, fold to a flop c-bet. Actually, no, sorry. This is a flop c-bet. This right below it is fold to flop c-bet. This is turn c-bet. This is fold to turn c-bet right below it. And then this is river c-bet, and this is fold to river c-bet right below it. And then we also have the win percentage plus how often they go to showdown. It's better to have a combination of both of these when you are tracking players over the long term because you can see how often they don't go to showdown and win and how often they do go to showdown in general. This is standard, pretty basic cash HUD setup. Black Rain 79, he has a website. You can actually type it in, and he has free HUD profiles that you can download, and I like them a lot, and I recommend them. We'll take a look at it. Had his light HUD setup, and you know it's pretty similar to mine. Player name, number of hands, VPIP, PFR, total aggression factor, fold to steal, attempt to steal, fold to 3-bet and 3-bet preflop, fold to a flop c-bet, fold to a turn c-bet, fold to river c-bet, and then he has the c-bet stats right below that. So flop, turn, and river c-bets, and aggression factor up here as well if I forgot to mention it. So very similar to what I'm using, except he has different information on different lines. This is what he considers his light HUD. And if we go to his full-on HUD, he's going to have some more detailed stats on here as well. So he has to fold to turn raises as well. So a fold to a raise after a flop c-bet, fold to a raise after a turn c-bet, and fold to a float c-bet, and fold to a river float c-bet. So he's also looking at how often people are folding to a lot more of different raises than just our standard c-bets and fold to c-bets. And he's also looking at 4-bet percentages as well. And these are some pretty common HUD setups. You can put a lot more stats on there, but I just recommend personally, if you are looking to use Poker Tracker 4 or Hold'em Indicator, using a basic setup like this with these stats. And you really don't even need, if you want to save more room, you don't need your river stats for the c-bet. So a lot of people in microstakes may be double barreling, but they're not typically triple barreling. So just even have their flop and turn c-bet stats on here is fine. And then if you aren't playing anonymous, putting their 1 to showdown stats on here is good as well. And so just using a basic setup like this for Poker Tracker is fine. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up the hand history replayer to look at pop-ups as well. So let's pull up a hand history. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so I just pulled up the hand history replayer on Poker Tracker 4. And the great thing about Poker Tracker 4 is, and let's switch to my HUD. So let me change to my ignition HUD. And here we go. Here's my ignition HUD. And let's unlock this layout and put these over on the side so they're easier to read for some of them. The great thing about using I would say a more advanced layout of a HUD for wherever you play, such as Poker Tracker 4 or Hold'em Manager 2, is that they have pop-ups, and you can also edit and create your own custom HUD setups like I showed you. And so, for example, with these opponents, I can look at specific stats. Now, I don't have that many reads because I'm playing anonymous poker, but let's say, for example, I want to look at this opponent's 3-bet stats. I can click on here, you can do pop-ups, you can program and set different pop-ups to show for different stats, but I just have this set up for a basic one. And if I do the pop-up, you'll notice I have all sorts of different other stats available. And especially you can look at flop stats, you can look at turn stats and river stats, and it's really great. Another great thing about Poker Tracker 4, and let's see if it actually shows the note caddy stuff. So this is a note caddy setup, and when I hover over notes for this person, it gives me specific details on things that they did in the past. So for example, this person 3-bet 5-3 suited. This guy's playing super aggressive. He 3-bet 5-3 suited, so we know that he's 3-betting in polarized range. You can see that he is defending fairly wide from the blinds. He's calling Jack 5 suited and 10-6 suited. And he called a 3-bet out of position with pocket 5. So this guy is pretty uber aggressive. And then again, we look at this opponent down here and see his 3-betting range is kings plus based upon what it's seen. So this guy is, so far from what we've seen, he's 3-betting a very strong linear range, but he is defending wide in the blinds. So that's another great feature of this, is that you can have these notes pop up with Note Caddy, and you can also type in notes as well. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick demonstration of Poker Tracker 4 and show you my HUD setup. I don't have a video of live play right now that I can demonstrate, but it's the exact same thing when you're playing. You have the pop-ups, you have the hover over stats as well that you can look at. So for example, we can say, well, okay, this guy's 3-betting 10%, but you want to look at the total sample of hands. So he is 3-bet a total of 2 out of 20 times, or this person, he has 3-bet a total of 1 out of 19 times. So you're saying, okay, well, if you look at this, you can say, okay, well, he's 3-betting a pretty strong range, but then if we look at this, we can see he's 3-betting a large range, and when he did, he was just full of crap. And that's just because this is very small sample size, and the stats really haven't converged yet. But yeah, that's a quick introduction and demonstration of the Poker Tracker 4 HUD setup. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. If not, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.